Alright, welcome everybody to the RGN Pro Series. I am Sprawl, and we are underway here with a best of three. This is lower bracket round one action. So we saw Numbers versus Space Soldiers in the other lower bracket round one, and it was Space Soldiers to best the Numbers or elite lineup, whatever you'd like to call it. But nonetheless, we do have pistol round already underway, and I've managed to miss a 4K from soccer to start things off. Jimka now in a situation where he must be scratching his head, trying to figure out what just happened to his team here. It's a great way to start things off, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to have to open up my relay of the stream so I can see exactly what went down. So, it looks like Soaker got an amazing 4K from the apartment's position. Anyhow, leaves Jimka alone. He's got a minute to try and deal with the situation. He is going to spot out Don Q. That was a nice shot. Takes him down. So 2K on the round. 1 versus 3. As he actually spots out Alexis as well. And interesting to see Mixwell is way back in T-spawn. Making sure that he can't rotate all the way around. Because at the moment, if he goes up mid, that's where Arky will come into play. And we'll get into a bit of a skirmish. Jimka will be the end of him as Arky takes him down. So Soaker, huge pistol round from him. And again, I apologize for not hyping the situation, as I just completely missed it on my end. So once in a while, it happens. And I should have, if you're wondering why I'm all alone up here, I should have a co-commentator at some point, but I am rocking it solo at the moment. But we are going to have Epsilon here, moving into their second round anti-eco fighter, though, or Peter, rather. They are going to be forcing up, so Tech 9 armor across the board. Where do they go with things is the question, as they actually leave the bomb at T stairs, which is interesting to note only because with these rounds, usually it is very, very fast pace. So the fact that they've left it all the way back makes me think they are actually playing a bit of a pick strat, which, again, generally you don't see with this kind of strategy with the equipment they have, but we'll see if it works out, as they are going to hook their heads into the B-bomb site. Is Spiker to find Mixwell right off the get-go. So here we go, as they do find the advantage. That was actually all the way over at A apartment, that face crack. He's going to land a frag as well, so A bomb site looking great. Arky and Donkey left to try and retake, and this is not the situation Epsilon wanted to find themselves in. It's one thing winning the pistol round, feel very confident after that, but dropping the round thereafter, if that is going to be the case, not so fun a start anymore for the Epsilon lineup. What a shot there from Spiker as he takes down Arky, and of course with the MP7 as well. So insult to injury, also getting a little bit extra change on top of each frag. So Epsilon again. So Peter, very straightforward. They just kind of move players at multiple parts of the map. Again, they had presence in top banana when Spiker was getting some frags over at that A bomb site. So able to work both sides very well, and they just end up going for the side that they end up getting the pick on. And generally speaking, again, the pick strat, not one that we see in a round like that, but Peter able to make it work, and now it is 1-1. Peter now up against a force buy from the CT side, and this is honestly one of the maps where I don't mind seeing this, as quite honestly it's been turned into a bit of a norm just in general. If you drop a round, especially if you drop pistol or something like that, second round comes up, a lot of times you'll see that force buy come into the situation. But again, obviously a bit different here, as we've had the second round force buy. We're going force buy to force buy. So Epsilon, how do they play it here? I watched some neat play. Ooh, Arky actually going to open things up with his FAMAS. And I was just watching last night, right before I decided to go to bed. I was watching the final game between Navi and Envious at Star Ladder, and it was actually on Inferno, the last map that they played. And one thing that was really cool that Navi was doing on their ecos is if they were going to play at that B bomb site, if it was the T's coming in there, they would smoke. So the T side would smoke CT, but they would have 3 players ready to collapse on the situation as soon as they enter the B bomb site. So we're not going to see that here, as we have an A bomb site play. Alexis just trying to hide out inside of Graveyard, but it's Arky, 3K on the round now. Comes up from Moto, takes down Face Crack inside of Graveyard, and Jimka Waterfalls playing inside of the site. Jimka finds one, traded off though, and that's going to be a CT-sided round. Epsilon able to bring it back. Wow, that ended up working out great for him. Definitely Arky to credit for a lot of that success, getting that early frag over near B, and once they end up taking on that A-bomb site, again, very quick 2 frags as he was entering in from Moto. So 2-1, not too bad at all. As again, Epsilon, this is Peter's map choice. Let me make sure that is the correct case. Yeah, Peter picked Inferno. We got Epsilon picking Cache, and Cobble is our third and final random map there. So that should be interesting if we can make it that far. But of course, so this is lower bracket action. Again, best of 3. Decent amount on the line. As again, the top 5 out of the top 8 that made it in out of group stage will qualify for the LAN championships that we're going to have here for the Pro Series. So you actually don't need to make it too far in the lower bracket to actually qualify and clinch that spot. Of course, you want to make it pretty darn far, but here we go. Mixed well. Big frag comes out as Soaker able to burn face crack to death as well. So they try and take up truck side, but you can see 2 of their lifeless bodies right outside of Boiler here on the T side. So Soaker down, but looking good here for the CT side once again as they're still trying to aggressive truck side. They've actually got the bomb on Waterfalls, and he's looking to come out from the balcony area. He's just going to drop an incendiary Arky. 2 big frags. He's had quite a performance here. Obviously very early, but it's going to be a quick starter, and that's obviously good for the Epsilon lineup as now Waterfalls 6 hit points. The confidence to jump off the balcony, but he doesn't take any damage. It's Arky to finish off the round as he finds another hat trick for himself. So 3-1, Peter. Again, on their map choice, you know what? You start on the T side. You're shooting for, honestly, 6 rounds is kind of what Peter's shooting for here. So 5 rounds in. They're not looking fantastic. That being said, obviously, we are very early in the half. So we are going to go for a standard save in this round. Not a huge surprise, as their monetary situation is not looking too great. Big nade stack starts things off. Waylander goes down. Soaker onto face crackers. They are going to try and take up into apartments. Waterfalls quickly finds himself in a pretty unfortunate situation. Soaker getting those last 2 frags. USPS headshots, no big deal. James Bond style, or maybe Splinter Cell, whatever floats your boat. But 4-1, the current scoreline as we're moving into round 6, and we do see the AWP come onto the field. Soaker gonna give that a try as the T side not able to afford such luxury. So they're just going to go with AKs across the board. Interesting, we don't see a single Molotov making it out, and it does look like that's due to the fact that they are a little bit lacking in the form of monetary situation, but it is going to be an aggressive CT round. As you can see this mix-up workout quite often, honestly. It's usually not utilized until later on when you have a bit more of an advantage on the CT side, but that makes it all the more surprising here as Don Q comes up with a 3K, and yeah, they just bully their way down mid, and Peter just not able to deal with it. And again, that's a strategy that you usually utilize when you're really far up and you can afford to drop around. I think Epsilon, they were in a scenario where the economics of things, they could have bought up even if they dropped that round. But yeah, some hyper aggression comes out from Epsilon, and Peter not able to react favorably, and now they are going to be on yet another eco, and that's super frustrating for Peter because before their strategies even unfolding, they're being rushed down. So a bit of disrespect, if you will, from the CT side, as I mean that in the sense of that you're just not allowing the opponent to get set up at all, going for some puggy play, if you will. But again, leaving Spiker last one alive, 1v4, and he's way over in apartments, and it's always interesting to me when they invest in a Deagle, as, again, for me, can't have anything for the life of me, but a lot of these players, completely different situation, as obviously the first bullet accuracy, not too bad at all, kind of drops off from there and out, though, as Spiker coming through CT spawn, not even going to be able to fire a shot towards Alexis as he is blindsided. So Don Q, once again, 3K on the round, and 6-1 our current scoreline as round 8 underway. And we do see an op coming on the field for Peter. So Waterfall's going to give it a try, and I do have to highlight Waylander without a single frag as of yet. So Peter, again, they can't really afford to have too slow of a start. Starting here on their map choice, obviously, you don't really want to give up the advantage of the map that you decided to play on, obviously. But Soaker going to be able to find the first one here. Goes down Banana. We'll be able to find Jimka, and they're going to rotate him out immediately, but it's going to be face crack in Boiler to take down Mixwell. So nice frag there as Waylander has moved all the way aggressively up Banana. And interesting to note that all the CTs rotating towards the A bomb site, only leaving Alexis inside of the B bomb site. So is this going to work out for Peter? The question is, they still have two players near A apartments, but finally it's going to be Waylander decides to test his luck as he's got a teammate towards B. They're going to bust into the bomb site now, retake status as Arky is just going to straight up run right through the smoke, and it's a huge opportunity. We'll be able to take down one, but it was a nice crossfire there. So bit of a confident play coming out from Arky, a little bit individual, but now leaves Alexis in a situation that he is going to try and go right through the front smoke here, but face crack able to take him down. So Peter finding their second round here on Inferno, and obviously Epsilon, we can see that they have figured out a decent amount in terms of money in their economy. So making it through those last few rounds without losing too much. So 6-2 is our current scoreline, and yeah, let's see if Peter can chain some rounds together. And I do believe I am blessed with the presence of the one and only Hurricane. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? I'm here to relieve some tension.
Woohoo! Relieve some tension. I like it. I like it. Sounds good. Well, let me know when you're ready to rock inside the Go TV.
I am.
All right.
I'll do some analysis later.
Sounds good. Alexis gonna start things off over in apartments. So early entry frag actually from the CT side as Arky's gonna chime in as well. They're trying to battle through the smoke here atop Banana, but Jimka will be able to trade. So Arky goes down. Now a 3-on-4. Jimka very low. Now we're gonna move back over towards A. Mixwell up in the apartments. Gonna be a crucial aspect of the defense. If you can hear or see anything, would be fantastic. But Spiker is checking into bedroom. Great timing though for Mixwell to turn around and take him down. Now trying to trade. They're gonna go one by one into apartments, and this is not gonna work out too well for him. Mixwell able to come up with the 3K, and again peeking one by one didn't make it too difficult on him.
No, not at all. And Peter just going for B picks in the beginning there. The Epsilon didn't smoke the entrance right there, so it gave him the green light to just go for those kills. But Epsilon not smoking knew that that's probably what Peter was going to do, because they definitely had a setup just basically waiting for them to walk into their crosshairs, and it worked out really good. And then Mixwell pushing into that window room after they were up in numbers is just really smart advanced Counter-Strike. So well done by Epsilon that round.
Yeah, great positional play by him to just kind of anchor in that position, and then if he comes in contact with anybody, at least they have information on it. Obviously, he wants to get at least a frag, if not more. But he got 3. Fantastic. Arky, oof, decides to just hang out a grill there, and without much protection either. It's going to go down immediately, but Don Q, he's going to chime in and causes no real issue there at that B-bomb site.
No, not at all. Great pulled by Epsilon yet again. Peter just going for B, and it's the same stuff. Epsilon just playing with the smoke timings, and just peeking right when it's about to bloom, getting some easy damage and kills, especially on an ecoing Peter. And then when they once people started falling, you could see how Peter just kind of played it a little careless there, just to get the round over. It seemed like, so they get the rifles in their hand. And now we see them going in on a full gun round here. 3 players in alternate mid. We actually do see an Epsilon player. It's Arky pushed up in the hall. He's going to get the fight right here. Gets both. Wow. Oh my gosh. Meptwell is pushing up B. Gets one. Alexis picks up another one from Boiler. So it's all left to Spiker here in the A halls. He's at the bottom of the stairs. Not a lot to work with. Epsilon's so dominant so far.
Yeah, no kidding. Spiker in a 1v5 as looks like his demise might be soon, as actually both players up in apartments there were fairly low, but that's one way to deal with some A aggression. Just put up a brick wall there for Epsilon as they take them all down there in alt mid. But nice stuff, as you saw Epsilon, they move 3 into banana early on. They've been doing that a little bit here sometimes with the op of Soaker as well. They'll rotate him in and then basically rotate off some players, just leave him there. But one of the benefits of that strategy is they see all those players coming up alt mid so quickly. Now those 3 players in banana, they can even get into the situation early on by heading down banana and basically making it into mid in time to deal with the situation as well. So good stuff there as this eco round not looking so hot here from Peter, and quite honestly, this has kind of been the name of the game for their ecos. Not able to get very much working for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they don't even seem that, focused at all when it comes to the eco rounds. Looks like they're just running around, maybe listening to their strat caller give out an amazing gun round strat. At least we'd hope. So, we see Peter here. They saved up again, and now they bought out here, and it's a full gun round, full nade set for everybody. I see only one player without a Molotov. I like to see that. And Epsilon doing 3B again. Let's see who wins these gunfights here.
Maxwell is going to get flashed in, and 2 players widescreen, but Jimka comes up with the frag. There's going to be a nade that sails down, so some decent damage done nonetheless from the CT side, but definite advantage here for Peter, and first one in a while, to be honest. So they need to work with it, as they can't afford to give any more rounds to the CT side. Arky, though, pushes up into banana, and will take one down. Waylander, nice refrag as he takes him down, and Arky holding a position where you feel safe because of smoke some, but a lot of players going with that pre-fire through that smoke, and you can see how effective it is there as Don Q comes up with one, traded off immediately. So leaves Alexis in a very awkward situation, and that's twice now that we've seen Epsilon players attempt to just bust through the smoke, and I don't blame them, because there is a lot of highlight reel material where players just bust through that smoke with a flash and go nuts, but it's a little bit easier said than done.
No doubt, and that flash play that we did see him do through that smoke, that's totally for when the terrorists haven't even come into the site yet, and they're just getting into the entrance, and they're already in the site planted. You saw the player in sight, he just saw the flash play, saw that it was just going to be below the little ledge there, and didn't even move. The flashbang was completely blocked. So we see Soaker get an entry, but Waylander answers back. Mixwell gets one of his own on the other side of the map. That's in A hall. So let's look at the positioning so far and see how they're going to react to this. Epsilon only have one at B, but Don Q is on the rotate already. But Peter not capitalizing on any of these entry frags. They need to do something. Mixwell pushes through A halls yet again. High level counter-strike from him. Great push. Doing exactly what you need to. Get a one-on-one, especially a blindsided one-on-one, is going to do wonders for your team. And now looks like, because of that kill, it's funneling Peter into this banana where they already have 2 players at the B bomb site for Epsilon. So this is going to be a very hard round for Peter here.
Yeah, 50 HP on Waylander. Things looking bleak, but they are going to test their luck as they smoke into CT spawn. Incendiary comes out from Don Q, though. Is Arky actually going to aggressively peek from atop the spindles? I'm not really sure why Waylander thought he was safe there, because he most certainly was not. Just a couple too many steps into that fire, and he goes down. So unfortunate stuff there from Peter, as you kind of you can't really win a situation if you aren't even prepared necessarily to get into the gunfight itself. You kind of go down to an environmental variable that comes out early on, but no fun there for Peter.
You didn't know one of the Peter's recruiting rituals is you have to go through coals of fire to join the team. Right? So he's just kind of doing the same thing there. So here we go. Soaker pushing into the window, getting a kill on the face crack, but then answers right back Spiker. So Peter evens it up 4-4. This is a 4-man set for both teams. 2 players working banana for Peter. Bombs down in T middle. One's working the halls. Gets a one-on-one fight with Alexis, but Alexis gets the better of that one. Donkey waiting for that smoke to bloom, and there he goes. Gets a kill on a Waylander over at banana. So now Peter again just getting picked apart here. Mixwell gets another one, and now it's a 1-on-4 here. Nice little pop flash, but Gemqua behind himself. I wasn't able to see Donkey right away. So Arky throws a flashbang, but he gets smoked out. Gemqua doing what he can here, picks up an M4. It's 1-on-3. Bombs down in T middle, and they know it already. Epsilon has a perimeter set up on it. Nice little setup there, Mixwell at the T-stairs. Alexis just waiting, so you better believe that as soon as Gemqual fights Alexis, Mixwell is going to strafe out and probably get a very easy kill here. So let's see that fight, strafe out. There it is. Mixwell gets that kill and ends the half for Epsilon 12-3. Really strong stuff there from the CT side, and that's pretty much like your dream half. I mean, besides 15-0ing them, but let's be realistic here. 12-3 is a really strong half for you on CT side. Shows just utter dominance, and now it's Peter's turn to really just do the same thing. They want to reverse the script and go on a run here if they have any chance at winning this map.
For sure, as this match is brought to you guys by Alpha Draft. If you guys are interested in esports fantasy stuff, certainly check out Alpha Draft, as we should have some more matches up there tomorrow here for our RGN stuff, but there's constantly stuff up there for ESL, ESCA as well. So again, Alpha Draft, partner here at RGN. Just check it out if you're interested in some esports fantasy. So 12-3, and Peter, obviously, if they picked up the first pistol round, could have honestly been 6 rounds. So the fact that those were, well, other than the second round coming in from the T side, more or less rifle rounds that they did bring in, but yeah, only 3 rounds. Leaves a lot to be sought after here for Peter. So big pistol round, as how are they going to play it? Actually a pretty passive look, as they post Spiker up at car, and then they rotate out of a player. And this is actually something that obviously we commonly see on a rifle round, but usually with the coverage with maybe a deep banana smoke or something to that effect. So the fact that they leave Spiker here in a situation where he doesn't have that coverage, he actually is going to fall back and take a little bit more passive angle, but the T side is working up towards the yard side of mid. I do believe they're going to go in just a moment here. It is going to be a smoke that goes down. There is a minor gap inside of it, but it's enough to actually drop the CT, as Waterfall is able to find one, but Mixwell, 2 crucial frags, as it looks like they're going to split towards the B bomb site, leaving one player in Soaker and Apartments. Alexis coming up from Banana, and here comes the split. Now, how does Spiker play it? As he is just going to vacate into construction, knows they have made it through CT spawn. Making himself difficult to find here, but Don Q will be able to find him. Leaves Jimka all alone as Waylander goes down across the map, and things looking bleak. He has a kit, but that's not going to be enough, as great pistol round from Epsilon. They just split towards the B bomb site through CT spawn. They find their opening, execute, and works out fantastically.
Yeah, really well done there. Getting that top middle control was just so key, and they utilized it beautifully. Nice smoke. There was a little gap. They got into a fight, but Mixwell got that kill. There was a guy in Arch, the second line of defense that the CTs afforded because they only put one at B. That was the cheating player from B at that Arch side, and Mixwell got the kill on that, and that mid-B split was just wide open for them. Great job by Epsilon to just leverage that map control and into the play they wanted to. So now we see Peter on a save here. 2 on the right side, 1 on the left, and oh man, Mixwell gets tapped, and there he is. He goes down. Lexus going for another trade. Waterfall doing great damage here with the scout.
Yeah, fantastic stuff, as Soaker just going to dive bomb into pit. He actually drops Waterfalls to 13 hit points as well, and this is looking fantastic here. Again, for the the CT side, is they are going to even things back up. So Spiker on a Don Q, we are going to have a 2-on-2. They do not have a kit, so time is of the essence. Soaker and Alexis just going to tag team towards the library position. They're trying to force a 1-on-1, but base crack. Nice shot from him, and actually finds both. 6 hit points remaining, but it doesn't matter at the end of the round, as him and Spiker able to grab AK-47s, and now Peter, they didn't get pistol round, but they get the round thereafter, and that's almost as nice. Not quite, but they're going to take it in this situation.
Yeah, great job there by Peter, especially from, I believe it was Waterfalls, the player that was scouting, just doing a great little setup. He was on the arch side of middle, just tight angle, tagged the guy coming up, and then basically leaving the remains for his 2 teammates on porch to just pick up easy kills on them, and that just started off the round really well. And Epsilon, as soon as that entry died, they just kind of, I feel like they lost their, sense of engaging fights in a safe manner, I guess you could say. They just kind of went all willy-nilly like and gave the round basically. So good job on Peter capitalizing on the mistakes of Epsilon, and now they're in the driver's seat. Very devastating, and when you win the pistol and then lose the next round, just does an absolute number on your economy. So now we see Epsilon just very focused on alternate middle. Arky is making a presence at B, but he just gets taken down by Spiker. Good kill through the smoke there. So we're going to see a little execute. There's a smoke going onto the truck, and they're going to jump out pit.
Yeah, they certainly are, as Jimka Waterfall is able to collect frags. Alexis onto Waterfall, or sorry, Waylander, as that's going to be the extent of his success, though. A single frag of the round comes out from the T side. And yeah, very similar to what we saw in the first half, in that it was the CT side in Epsilon to pick up pistol, and the second round came in thereafter for the Peter lineup on that T side. And then we had the CTs able to basically secure things and get about 5 rounds in a row. So we'll see. Again, Peter, they could definitely string together some rounds here on the CT side, being that it is their map choice. The fact that their T side, yeah, they ended up with 3 rounds, not what they were hoping for, but a lot of times what teams are doing when they're picking a map like this is, yeah, they might have a really good T-half, but they might just be getting through that T-half to get onto their CT side. And in that time, they want to gather some rounds to give themselves a really good chance, but the idea is the focus is on the CT half. So I think, Peter, that's what they're looking for here.
Yeah, no doubt. They didn't seem to be able to really get any sort of, you know, offense going on that last half, and now they're going to really lean on their CT side just because it's necessary for them to even win this match. So here we go into another gun round between both of the teams. Epsilon put a little presence towards Banana, got some grenades out of them, and then they fell back into an A setup. They're already up top middle. Peter is just completely conceding top mid. There's a player all the way at the choke point at A halls, and then they're all around boiler. So Peter setting up a pretty good setup here. You know, they have Waylander near porch, Gemqua very close at A halls to give any sort of support. So if Waylander goes down, he's going to get into a fight with Soaker. This is going to be huge for Epsilon, and oh, he gets bombed down, so they know where it's at. Waterfalls takes big damage there. Waylander actually goes down. Arky got past that arches and actually flanked him. So there's still a pit player in pit. It's Gemqua. Needs to come up big. Picks up one. Mixwell coming out of A halls. He makes tons of noise and able to take a headshot. Great shot by him. Bombs getting planted. Arky watching that library flank gets one, but the key players are coming in from lane. Able to pick up one. His face crack. And then Mixwell. Oh my goodness. Just 3 huge kills from him that round. Absolutely dominating, and Epsilon finds another point on their offense.
Yeah, huge 3K, like you said, Mixwell. Those last 2 was with him with a single hit point, so can't really go wrong with that.
Oh my goodness,
work from him. Yeah, it's impressive work from him. So Epsilon 14-5. Peter is trying to mount a bit of a comeback, but they find the brick wall of Epsilon comes up pretty soon on their CT half. Now, where do they go with things, as they are going to be a little bit down in the form of equipment? Face crack with only a 5-7. That being said, he did come up with some nice play in that second round forced by that they were able to convert here. So Epsilon working Banana, and interesting how they send every single player there, so no one in second mid or anything to that effect, and that makes me think that they are going to go for a pretty early execute here, as otherwise you would leave some players throughout the map just so it gives you a little bit more of a read as you rotate back. But here we go. They are going to smoke it off, but they do decide to rotate back. So again, the worrisome part is if there was any CT that pushed up aggressively, like Mixwell, for example, in the last half, he was inside of apartments and trying to push for any little edge that he can get whenever he could. So if it was the other way around, Peter being on the T side, I imagine we'd be seeing that here. So they have to be worried about similar things, but it's not going to be the situation as Soaker makes it all the way into back halls. He's got his number 3 player, Mixwell, moving up mid as well, and they're just trying to make a little bit of noise very late in the round to pull all the tension over towards this A bomb site. It's actually working fairly well as well, as they are going to take into B. Only face crack playing at the new boxes and goes down immediately. So huge frags there. It's now a 3-on-4. They're going to try and hang onto the bomb site. Coming up from Banana, that's going to be Jimka, and like he gets simultaneous frags with him, leaves only Arky, and he's had some massive frags early on here, but not going to be able to clutch the round. 14-6. As Peter, they are going to bring things back, but Epsilon looking pretty darn good here on their T side, even in a round like that where they can show a little bit more of a bit of an advanced strategy. Again, sending a couple players over towards the other bomb site, try and create a distraction, and it's very late round situation as well.
Yeah, you saw how Peter, the rotate wasn't that fast. It's because you made that presence at A. That's what you basically afforded yourself by sacrificing Mixwell. And if you could have capitalized on that gamble of Mixwell getting a kill, it would have even been a bigger advantage for Epsilon. And I just liked how Epsilon handled that. I mean, the retake by Peter obviously won out there, but because they took B and they had the full control of it pretty much, but they did go into the site, as we just see an absolute mow down here. Epsilon was saving, so it's pretty much a throwaway round, so Peter picks up that point. But going back to the point I was making, that how Epsilon handled that round very beautifully. They went into B, they had CT spawn smoke. They didn't go into the site. They were just basically waiting for the Peter player that was alone in the site to present himself. And he was at New Box. He was basically waiting for audio cues for them to be entering in the site. And Epsilon just sat tight. They didn't make a lot of noise. They're just waiting for him to show himself. They instantaneously got that kill once he did. And, went into the site. But again, that Peter retake was just too strong.
Oh, look at this boost over the smoke in mid, but it's gonna backfire here as they bust through the smoke that Peter's trying to boost over, and boy, was that some mistimed play. As Peter, I love the idea, but the fact that Epsilon just goes quickly up mid, it just immediately hard counters exactly what they were trying to perform there. FaceCrack now left in a 1v3, and things looking a little bit bleak here as he is going to push through some smokes. That Moto finds one, but traded off immediately, and that's how it should go. Again, FaceCrack, unless he can get some extraordinary flicks going on, Epsilon should be able to trade that frag 9 times out of 10. But again, I just want to highlight how Peter, they try and go for a boost over that smoke, and again, that looks like a very effective play, but not if they're pushing through the smoke at the exact same moment.
Yeah, just terrible. You said it right there. Just a complete hard counter to what they were, going for. If that was just a smoke for them to get cover and they're just sitting in back middle waiting for someone to push through or just do any sort of shenanigans, that would have been the beautiful play for the boost to come into, and that would have been the hard counter for it. But again, Peter, just on the opposite end, it seems like this whole match, just, sometimes when you play competitive Counter-Strike, that's just what happens. It seems like the other team has all of the answers, and you just go back to the drawing board and, maybe make some adjustments, or you can just chalk it up to bad luck and don't really adjust anything. But let's see how Peter is going to handle this. They're still in the match. It's still a full gun round for them as well. So Epsilon have 3 players at Banana. They're at the top. They've made plenty of noise, and Peter has a setup here. Now they're getting the smokes out. Arky trying to go up top middle. Soaker coming out halls. Both of those players get killed. And Peter's on top with the numbers game, but they hear them come up middle. Waterfalls is a great spot for them and gets 2 kills. Beautifully done. And now it's all left to Alexis with the bomb. Versus 4. Gets a Molotov. Gets flushed out a boiler, and now he's forced into the lane. Gets a pop flash into his grill, gets another one. Oh my goodness. This is a very, very blind situation for him. Spiker spots him out, trying to get an angle, but can't. He's looking for this player pit. Alexis picks him up, and now it's all on the Spiker. He has a reload, though, and the rotate is too slow. Use the audio cue from all the footsteps. Just ring around the Rosie, and Spiker gets that headshot onto Alexis, and Peter stays alive.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Peter, able to close out that round as Epsilon. He tried to move 2 players into A before the rest of the bunch kind of show up, and didn't exactly work out. And like you had stated, I believe that was Waterfalls in top mid. Just great positioning by him to cut off the remaining T's, and left just the 1 player up. So Epsilon now on eco. Peter still working this comeback game, and they're not out of it yet, as they are going to move up again to their 8th round. If they can make it through this eco as well, it will be their 9th. As coming up from truck side, they're going to find 2 frags immediately. So actually the trades come in, but they are going to be able to get the bombs set as Waterfalls able to take the advantage back. Soaker on 4 hit points. He's got Donkey with him, and they're both playing inside of the site. Donkey at the spammable spot is going to lose his teammate. Peeks out as that incendiary forces him to do so. And it's going to be another Peter round. They do take a good amount of losses in that 2 frags, and the bomb plant comes out from the T side. So that'll be nice for Epsilon as, again, moving into this next round. We'll take a look at their monetary situation. I do believe they'll have a little bit to play with as, yeah, they should be able to get an AWP into play if they'd like to. Actually, Soaker decides against it. They're going to go AKs across the board as Epsilon.
Yeah, so what does Epsilon do in this situation? Well, what they've seen from Peter is they have a very strong A take, but they've been opting to just leave that banana open. Honestly, if I were the strat caller on Epsilon, knowing that information, I would just group up a ton of players at banana and just walk into B, see what you can do. They show an early smoke at the car, then they basically just back off and wait for you to walk through. And if you had overloaded that whole area and not shown any noise, it could really work out here. But not the case. Epsilon is going in A halls, 3 players there, 1 coming out boiler. Let's see how the A take works.
Jemka from the pit. He's going to go down immediately. Waterfalls with 1, but Arky and Alexis able to clear the bomb site. Now retake for Peter. A requirement if they want to continue this map and push it to overtime, but Spiker goes down. Only face crack. 1v4 coming in from Library. It needs to be a highlight of highlights, as he is going to discover where Alexis is at, but Don Q clotheslines him before he can exit Library. Epsilon, they're going to take a victory in map number 1 here. Inferno is, again, that was Peter's map choice, so a little bit worrisome as we are going to move into Cash, map number 2.